Thank you for watching. Today we'll talk about the Michigan Department of Transportation-owned Canton-Plymouth Meta-Tall 1D2 General Aviation Airstrip and the ongoing MDOT Clown Patrol threat to public safety. Let's review 50-plus-year-old flying junk piles, faulty avionics, and the failure to follow tried and true FAA recommendations, guidelines, and accepted basic aviation safety processes and procedures. The purpose of this documentary is for presentation to local FAA Flight Standards District Office or FSDO, as well as supporting an FAA national-level review and complaint in support of a prior 2023 FAA noise complaint. We'll cover 1. Faulty avionics and what that means, and see how it's used for disingenuous low-flying harassment, as well as review some useful definitions, laws, rules, guidelines, etc. 2. Examines several blatant examples that show MDOT cronies and habitual community pariah in action. And 3. Summarize obvious basic observations and conclusions. This documentary was created for educational purposes. I do not claim any rights to the material used. Transponders and automatic dependent surveillance broadcast, or ADS-B, are essential parts of an aircraft avionics system and should be turned on at all times, period. The real question: is it okay to mess around with any of this essential mission-critical equipment and ignore accepted, proven FAA safety processes and procedures and get away with it? Is it okay to ignore, defeat, circumvent, override, or tamper with FAA-mandated equipment and FAA-proven processes and procedures to avoid detection and/or carry out malfeasance at the same time? It certainly isn't ethical, practical, or even reasonable behavior from any viewpoint. 50 years of unchanged MDOT bullying, deception, and lies continue with protected 1D2 weekend warriors, made up of special interest and industry lobbyists openly and freely abusing the community. Now, let's look at some real-world examples showing community pariah in action for Federal Aviation Administration review. As of Thursday, July 11, 2024, the ADS-B infrastructure is fully functional and fully operational with no issues in the 1D2 area. Hundreds of aircraft have absolutely no ADS-B issues or problems, period. Whether using ADS-B or not, any way you look at it, this is disingenuous low-flying harassment at its finest. Here's a most basic example. It appears that ADS-B connectivity is broken when an 8637G approaches 1D2 landing. ADS-B connectivity is restored after takeoff. However, flight-aware history shows 0 flights to 1D2, only 45G to 45G. The fact that an 8637G landed at 1D2 is only apparent if captured live on ADS-B exchange as shown. Otherwise, traceability is lost unless you are paying for a service or know exactly where and how to look, or you are the FAA or air traffic control and have unlimited budget to dig out the expensive to retrieve complex data for a trivial investigation. This basic scenario is repeated in similar form in each of the following examples. Clear radio broadcast identifies 468 Tango, but no call sign, no ADS-V. This same scenario is repeated often. Maybe N468T has permission from FAA or ATC, but maybe not. Either way, it's still disingenuous, low-flying harassment no matter how you look at it. Introducing longtime M. favorite pals, cronies, and bootlickers. Introducing longtime M. favorite pals, cronies, and bootlickers. Introducing longtime M. favorite pals, cronies, and bootlickers. Note the erratic transponder and or ADS-B sensor readings are all over the place. Disingenuous low-flying harassment no matter how you look at it. As one member stated February 25, 2017 in the Reddit r/flying community with over 312,000 users. The really bad part of 1D2 is every weekend warrior on a nice Saturday is out, not listening, entering patterns however they like and cutting off other traffic. Another member replied, "It is weekend warrior heaven. You're right." No surprise here as the surrounding community has been living this for 50 years. There's been enough crashing 1D2 flying junk piles without casually playing little games with community and school safety hanging in the balance waiting for the next flying junk pile to drop. 1D2 is a disaster just waiting to happen. Surrounding communities do not need another mid-air collision.